Everyone, this video is going to be about how to set up a baby Tegu's enclosure. So this is my 1 month, 18-day old Paraguayan red Tegu. His name is Tegu. He's about 15 inches long right now. So the main thing is you need a pretty big enclosure. You could start off Tegus in smaller tanks, like a 40-gallon breeder, or like a bigger tank that you have already. But those usually don't last long as Tegus grow really quickly their first year. So I just recommend getting your adult size enclosure so you're saving money and the Tegu gets used to his place. Either you could build your own enclosure or purchase one, or you could go a little bit cheaper route and get a grow tent. This grow tent is my second one. This brand is pretty good, but I think they discontinued it. But I think I bought this on Prime Day sale last year for like, I think it was like $60 or $70. But this is a pretty good tent. It's 80 inches by 4 by 4. So this is gonna last him for a pretty long time. But what I do really recommend is old Vivo Sun tank grow tent. This is my other bigger one. This has my black and white Tegu. But a recommended size is gonna be 8 by 4 by 4. This is 80 inches by 4 by 4, so it's 6 feet. But I bought this 10 because of A, it was on sale, and B, my Tegu, I'm gonna take him out a lot throughout the day, so he's only gonna be in here to bask, sleep, and eat. So a 6 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot isn't too bad. But if I see that he does grow to 5 feet, I'm probably gonna build a enclosure. That's my plan for all 3 of my Tegus eventually, maybe. If you hear any ruffles, this is my cat. Her name is Olivia. She's a Persian, and she's really interested. But going back to the Tegu, grow tents are a really good way to keep your Tegus because they're very portable. They're pretty cheap compared to enclosures, and they hold the humidity in and heat in very well. But I like grow tents, but I'm not really a big fan how they look. As you can see, it's like shiny, and then on the outside is just a black blob. But so you need a enclosure of at least 8 by 4 by 4 for an adult. I recommend that you get that for a baby too, so they get used to it and you save money. Second thing you need is heat. If you don't know, reptiles need heat to digest food, and they are cold-blooded, so heat is very important. And for a Tegu, the temperature should be between 110 and 120. Some people recommend a higher temperature, some people recommend the lower end of the temperature, but it needs to be higher than 100. I keep mine at 110, and as the Tegu gets older, you would have to add another bulb, so it's not only basking like a little portion, like you see like right there, there's no heat, only here. But this heat does dissipate, so I'm not too worried. He's pretty small. But as the Tegu gets larger, you would have to add probably 2 more heat, so it covers his whole body. Second thing you need is UVB. This bulb right here is a mega ray, so it has heat and UVB, and they usually last I think a year. UVB usually lasts a year. If you're using I think the brand is Zoomed, they only last 6 months. So either you buy a mega ray, which looks like this, or you get a tube style, which looks like this. This is from Arcadia. This is the one I use for my other Tegu. I wouldn't recommend coil style bulbs, because coil style bulbs don't emit any UVB over a few inches, so those are not recommended. And you need your basics, a hide for them to hide in. That's an old shirt, so he gets used to me. Water, and just enrichment stuff that the Tegu could explore and stuff. Right now, this is the bare minimum because, like I said, I just did get him, so I want to spend more time with him. And you just want to add like leaf litter, fake plants if you want to do that. Add hides, like a hide in the hot side and then they hide in the cold side. I didn't do that because if he wants to bask, he could bask and he could go in there, or he could hide in the crevices because he's so little right now. If you are getting a grow tent, one thing you have to do is close all the ports or places where they can escape, like the ports for the fan and wires and stuff. So what I do is I just tie them and then tie them once more so they don't try to escape. I have a Colombian in the exact setup, and even he's really aggressive and he hasn't been able to rip the tank or get out, as the material for this tank is tent. I mean, it's pretty good. I don't think they could rip it, but yeah, so these are the basics that you need. You need a pretty big enclosure, heat, water, UVB. If you're keeping them outside, that's totally different. But and to light up the enclosure, I'm just using this cheap shop light. What you could also do is, if you want to have plants in here, you could have a T5 or LED plant light that you could have plants like I have for this one. I could show you guys later. But yeah, this is Togo, my Paraguayan red Tegu, and I'm probably gonna make a few videos throughout the week and updating you guys on how he's doing and what he's doing.